Good morning. Let's go to unit number 7, reading period 1. Siba, if you please, can you start reading paragraph 1 and 2?
Okay. A survey of 3,000 workers in the UK has revealed the top 10 dream jobs. Being dream jobs, a certain amount of fantasy is involved. But what is the reality behind the dream? We asked some professionals what doing these jobs was really like. Airline pilot James Hutchings, they didn't really make this the first choice, did they? I'm not sure my job is what people were thinking of. They probably want to be jet fighter pilots. The work isn't as exciting as people think. You don't see the world, just the insides of airports. There isn't much job security either. There are lots of ways you could lose your job. It suits me at the moment because I'm young and single, but I wouldn't want to be still doing it in 10 years' time.
Okay. Now, thank you very much, Siba, for doing that. Now, if you look at the first paragraph, I'm going to ask you questions and you can answer whenever you have your answers. How many people were asked in this survey?
3,000.
3,000 people. In which country of the world?
In the UK.
Okay. Thank you, that's nice. What was the survey about?
The top 10
dream jobs.
Yeah, the top 10 dream jobs. Now, if it's a dream job, what does that mean?
A job you wish you
The job that you wish you would.
Is it a job? Yeah, that's right. Is it a job that you have or wish to have in the future?
wish
to have.
So you wish to have it. So there is a certain amount of fantasy, imagination. Now, if we want to know the reality, in order to know the reality, what did they do in their survey?
They asked professionals.
They asked professionals. What did they ask them about?
3,000 workers.
What doing these jobs was really like.
Yeah, the nature of their job. What's the nature of your job? Why do people dream a lot about it? Why do people want your job very much? Now, who was the number one person to be asked?
Airline
pilot.
And James.
Now, if I ask you the question who, then you need to say the name. That's something that we did previously. So, who was the first one to be asked?
James Hutchings.
James Hutchings. And what's his job?
Airline
pilot.
He's airplane.
If you look at the first 2-3 sentences in this, does he like the idea that people have chosen his job? No. How do you know from the text that this isn't his preference? Can you give me
He's surprised that people...
Yeah, what did he say exactly?
He said the work isn't as exciting as people think.
Okay. And many other
You don't see the world.
I'm not sure my job is what people were thinking.
Really like.
And there isn't much job security.
There isn't much job security. If you were asked such question, you need to start with the first sentence. They didn't really make this a fair choice, did they? I'm not sure. My job is what people were thinking of. Now, what are the negatives? How many negatives are there in this paragraph for the job of being a pilot? Four. Now, Sidra, can you say the 4 negatives in this part?
Yeah. The work isn't as exciting as people think. You didn't see the world, just the insides of airports. There isn't much job security either, and it suits me at the moment. There are lots of ways you could lose your job. It suits me at the moment because I'm young and single, but I wouldn't want to be still doing it.
Sidra, if you count the things that you said, there are 5. Now, there are lots of ways you could lose your job. It's part of job security. It's part of number 3. Okay? Now, does he want to be still doing the job Subhi in 10 years' time? Does he want to be still doing the job in 10 years' time?
أنا مش عارف وين أنتوا صراحة.
No.
Second
No,
paragraph in unit number 7, period 1. Who can help him? Kinda.
that I can.
Does
No,
he
he
want to
wouldn't.
be doing the job?
No,
No, he doesn't. Why does he not want to do the job for another 10 years?
because if he is gonna to be married, it's so difficult to continue in this job
That's it.
because
Now-
they will get family.
Okay, he wants to start a family, to get married, and if he's married, he cannot continue because he keeps moving from airport to airport. Now, paragraph number 3 and 4, who's ready to read? I need hands. Nobody's initiating. Shall I choose? Sidra did.
أستاذ أقرأ الفقرتين صح؟ الثالثة
P4,
والرابعة.
yes.
Okay. TV and theater actor Jane Nicholson. There's nothing I'd rather do. The feeling you get is like nothing else, and it outweighs the many negatives, like the pressure, the stage fright, and the long periods without work. Unless you are a bigger star, you never know where the next job is going to come from. Pianist and singer. Amina Qureshi. Almost anyone can become a musician, but the trick is to make a living from it. I mean, there are singers, there are good singers, and there are successful singers, but they are three different things. For most of us, it's a life of late nights, long hours practicing and traveling from place to place, being paid just enough to put food on the table. The majority of professional musicians need other incomes, usually from teaching.
Thank you very much for doing that. Thank you. Now, if you look at paragraph number 3, who is the person talking in this paragraph?
Jane Nicholson.
Jen Nicholson. Siba, what's her job?
She's a TV and theater actor.
TV and theater actor. Yes, that's it. Now, does she like her job according to the first 3-4 sentences?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. How do you know?
Because she said the feeling you get is like nothing else.
That's one point. Another point, the one before it.
I'd
And it
rather,
outweighs the many
there's nothing I'd
negatives.
rather do.
There is nothing I'd rather do.
he
So,
said.
next she talks about it, line number 5 or 6. Can you see that? And it outweighs. What does it refer to?
The feeling you get.
The feeling you get it.
What's outweigh? What's the meaning? Outweighs.
More important than.
Important than.
More important than the many negatives. Now, here, what does she start talking about when she starts with lie? She gives examples.
The pressure.
No, she gives examples of what?
Of the negative.
Of the many
Negatives.
negatives. Of the many negatives. Yes? What's the first one? The first negative subhead.
Unless you are a big star, you will never know where the next job is going to come from.
That's the last one. What's the first one, Silva?
You will
the
be
pressure.
under pressure.
The pressure, subhead. The pressure. ضغط العمل. So the first one, the pressure, رقموهن. The second one, the stage fright.
Right.
And the third one, the long periods without work. Now, the next part, paragraph number 4. Who's talking?
Amina Qureshi.
Amina
Qureshi.
Qureshi.
Now, what's her first
Yes.
sentence that she says? What does she think?
إيش السؤال؟
Anyone can become a musician.
Anyone can become a musician, but there is something we need to be careful about.
There's a trick to make a living from it.
You need to make a living. Otherwise, it's not a job if you don't make money. Now, how does she explain the idea? The trick is making a living. What does she mean?
There are singers. There are good singers there. and there are successful singers.
but they are different from each other. So 3 levels: a singer, a good singer, and a successful singer. Now, a singer will start and finish as a singer, and a successful one will start as successful and finish as successful. They are different. Now, then she talks about the negatives. How many negatives are there?
4.
4. What's the
Negative.
first one?
Life of late night,
Late night.
Late nights. Number
long
2,
hours,
Long
long hours of practicing,
long hours practicing. Number 3,
and traveling from place to place.
traveling
Yes.
from place to place. Does she like the idea of traveling and long hours and practicing?
No.
No, she doesn't like it.
No.
Okay.
No.
Now, point number 4. What's the fourth negative?
He being paid just enough.
You don't get enough money. You know, when we talked about SQ3R, survey, question, read, recite, and review, you can give the answer in your own words if you wish. So you need to make money. You don't get enough money just to buy the food on the table. So what do the majority of the musicians do in order to have money?
They teach it.
They teach him music. Where?
Teaching.
Why do they teach music?
because they need other.
They need other incomes. Thank you كندا. Yes. إذا لأنهم بحاجة لدخل بيشتغلوا كمان إضافي يعلموا موسيقى. Now, the last paragraph, Kinda, start reading it, please.
يلا. Charity workers, Ben Harper. I can understand why this work comes so high in the list. It's the job satisfaction, isn't it? A lot of people probably feel they'd rather do something to help other than work for a company, making money for someone else. But the thing is that for most charity workers, it's just an office job. Even non-profit organizations have to be run like business these days. The people at the top are paid well, but those lower down are often volunteers.
Thank you. Now, if you look at the last sentence, even non-profit organizations have to be run like businesses these days. What's the meaning of have to? Yes?
Should.
Should أو need to. اكتبوها جنبها. Need to. What's run? بالعربي تدار. Managed. Yes, thank you, Siba. So you need to have a manager for the charity or non-profit organization. And the managers, the people at the top, اكتب عليها المدراء, are paid well, get a high salary, a lot of money. But the ones lower down are often volunteers. What are volunteers?
متطوعين.
So people who work but don't get
Without
money. Without money,
don't
without
get
a
money.
salary. People who work without a salary. Now, who's the person speaking in this paragraph?
Ben Harper
Ben Harper.
Ben Harper, what's his job?
is a charity worker.
Worker.
Charity worker. Does he like the job?
Charity.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, he does. Now, why does he like it? It's in line number 4. Why does he like the job?
Because he feel they'd rather do
To
something
help
to
others than work for a company.
He helps others. That's the point. He is helping others, not helping a company make more money. Okay? Now, we are finished with this. If you look in your books, on the next page, there is a vocabulary exercise and a true-false exercise with the sentence that proves your answer is correct. I'm going to click this. Can you see the link at the bottom?
Yeah.
Screenshot, please.
Yes.
خذوا لقطة شاشة قبل ما أفتح لأنه بدي أغير المشاركة. So just have a screenshot. Now I click at the link. Now it's a new screen that you can see. Hi there, type your name. Can you see that?
Yes.
Yes. Now, all you need to do is type your name. For example, I'm going to type Siba. Okay. And then click OK. Here, can you see the new page now?
Yes.
The questions here. They are the same questions that are in your book. Now, you need to answer that. You click here. Look at the screen. You click this. And it gives you a box to write in. Hey, al yamin. Now, revealed means shown, for example. Okay. تكتبها بتنقل على الثانية الثالثة and you continue with all of this. This is the true false. Exercise number 3, you know, discuss the questions is a activity that you can, we can talk about it in class on Saturday. But for these ones, when you finish, you just click save. When you save, the answers come back to me. I correct and send it back to you with your mark. Maybe it needs 10 minutes, 15 minutes, no more than that. So right now, I'll just copy the link in a minute and send it to you. Or you can just have it from the screenshot, open that worksheet or quiz, answer the questions and send them back to me. واضح? Is it okay?
اوكي
Yes,
استاذ
yes.
استاذ بس
So-
بعت لنا الرابط.